What has been happening in everyone's favorite store simulator this week? Happy Monday, y'all. The verse started buzzing last week over the announcement of DefenseCon 2956. We were actively buzzing about it. You guys remember that? Bigger, badder, and more bodacious than ever. Words for my memoir. The party kicks off May 14th at the Bevic Convention Center in Arena Commander, or Area 18. R-Corp. Whether you're hunting for your next daily driver or just want to kick the tires for free, this one's worth the trip. Keep an eye on Spectrum and upcoming comm links as we get closer to the expo. We've already talked pretty much at length of this, but we are covering both last week's and this week's news. I'm trying to do these this week in Star Citizen videos with a little bit more context of what's going on overall. And they're right. They did announce DefenseCon. It comes up in 9 days as of the recording here. It will be from May 14th to May 27th. It has shown us that it is basically going to be the same as it normally is, but because they have some kind of lore complication mixed in where the UEE military is going back to Sol, which is where Earth is, Drake is taking over. Now, in reality, this makes a lot of sense because Drake needs a lot of days to sell. Usually Drake DefenseCon is the couple of days after Invictus Week, but this time it is actively taking over all the time of Invictus Week because the big ships to sell this year is the Ironclad. And rather than waiting until after Invictus Week to do all of that hubbub, they thought, well, we've got one big highlight for the event. It's the Ironclad. Let's sell it day one and have it be available and hyping up the whole event. It makes more sense. I am very much hopeful that they are using this as an opportunity to either start Squadron 42 marketing in Seoul, or even better, to progress the story of the Vanduul approaching Seoul. They have their reasons for putting this up, and for the most part, this is just a branding change. Functionality, I don't think this is going to play much differently, but let's keep an eye out. Keep a close eye on it over the next couple weeks. It continued by saying the Bar Citizen Tour kept rolling strong this past Saturday with a stop in Xi'an, China. I can't read today. And this one we'll never forget. The community packed the venue for a full day of Q&As, clay ship sculpting, F8C coloring, exploring community booths, and some intensely competitive remote control STV racing. Honestly, it sounds like it's turning into a bit of a convention. They do this every year. They do a Bar Citizen in China. They started maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Definitely an outreach moment. Opening up to a massive market in China is clearly important to them in the long term. So they've been doing more and more regular meetups and bringing more people into the fold. And I appreciate that, dude. The more people who can experience this, the better. That being said, this usually leads to them needing to put out information there to make it feel worth it to the people. Like they're also getting some good information out of it. So we get an entire Bar Citizen, Star Citizen Live that comes from these events that usually has a lot of information. I am putting out my own summary of the news we've heard about this so far on this second channel, but I'll be doing a watch through of the actual thing later when CIG officially releases it, because I just like it in the high quality version. Keep an eye out for that. It's got interesting information around exploration through jump points. It talks a little bit about suit lockers. We listen to new flight model information, talk of food buffs and how that's going to affect us going forward, and just like a lot of integral details. They've got important people there talking. Tyler John, Aaron Roberts was there, and I think a few other folks were there from the studio as well. So I'll have more info for you guys on that coming up later, but for now, that's what happened last week. The organizers also put together a full ARG that ran throughout the day with attendees solving challenges and piecing together a storyline centered around the UEE and Xi'an coming back together, with little interference from Xenothreat along the way. Activities across the venue tied into the experience, ultimately leading to a reveal of something new from Origin Jumpworks. I think it's actually, there is a really ironic storyline, real-line storyline bubbling here with the UEE and Xi'an coming together and like CIG doing outreach to China and the way that some people react to that and the fucking Xenothreat. It can sometimes be so on the nose, reality. Activities across the venue tied into the experience, ultimately leading to the reveal of something new coming from Origin Jumpworks. We know that to be the M80. It was revealed by John Crew Let's see if we could find any of the posts here. They were all over Reddit for a day, but you know how fast Reddit moves. Can't find it. Oh, here we go. So he revealed it. M80 Heavy Fighter Project top secret from Origin. We're getting more fighters. You got a Drake fighter? Got to get an Origin fighter as well, of course. To everyone who came out, thank you truly. Events like these are a powerful reminder of why we build what we build, and Xion made that clearer than ever. The verse is global, and we could not be more grateful for the welcome you gave us. All right. So what's coming up this week? Tuesday. We're gonna actually, hold on, I'm sorry. They didn't even mention, there was also a jump point that was released that brought some interesting information. This is generally not the kind of thing that's, it's not public, it's for subscribers, but it's floating around publicly. You can probably find it if you do a little search for it. And it talks about some of the stuff that's been going into the work recently, concept art and things like that. And just another reminder that like whatever concept art book we get for this game is going to be, first of all, probably like 5 different coffee books combined, but also just one of the most interesting concept art books to ever watch. The fact that we have this kind of concept art that gets shown to us as a way to advertise this, and then we can see that it's up next to a whole bunch of other concept art we've never seen, makes me realize there's a ton of concept art for Grimhex, for Pyro, for the Reclaimer, for the 600i. Everything probably has so much concept art for it that we haven't seen, and I'm excited to see it someday. So it gives a little update on the Kraken. We went over that. That's on the second channel as well, coming up. It gives an update on the Aurora Mark II and the process of making that, building it off of the original Aurora. I haven't gone over that, but I'm sure it's an interesting read as well. And yeah, so that was mostly the news for last week and kind of the big bits that went on. Now, let's talk about this week. We got a comm link coming in the newsletter on Monday or on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we got the newest roadmap roundup, thank God, keeping you up to speed on what's ahead in development. The org spotlight comm link also drops, highlighting standout orgs across the verse that are actively recruiting. Whether you're searching for fellow industrialists or gearing up for tactical operations in 4.8, there's a crew out there for you. We also see the April PU monthly report dropping, giving a look at what the dev teams worked on for Star Citizen last month. So, to wrap up on Wednesday, roadmap update. We'll probably be hearing the last little bits of things coming to 4.8, but it's not going to be that big of a report. The next report we get in 2 weeks will be bigger. That'll be talking about 4.9. We're getting that post that they asked us to advertise our orgs for the upcoming update. So if you're looking for a group of people to play with and you need a list in front of you to make a decision from them, this should do a pretty good job of actively showing you who's active in the verse and who is open to new members joining. Finally, the monthly report. This is going to be the big highlight of the week, I think. Unless they do have an Inside Star Citizen episode. So this will be a big highlight, but we've got even more going on Thursday with a new episode of Inside Star Citizen, taking a closer look at 4.8, covering some new features, improvements, and everything shaping the next major update. I'm guessing maybe they'll show us the Pitbull here, because they'll probably have next week's episode dedicated to the Ironclad. They might just do all of the new ships on next week's episode. I don't know, but this should have little bits of stuff that are coming in 4.8 we haven't really looked into too much yet. On Friday, the weekly newsletter from RSI landing in your inbox. Be sure to opt in via your account settings. Also, they're doing a Star Citizen Q&A that was recorded for Xion. So, like I said, the one that they recorded last week at the Bar Citizen, we'll get to see this week. So we'll wait until Friday and we'll watch that together. On Saturday, Bar Citizen Tour continues with events in Seoul, South Korea, and Paris. A great opportunity to meet members of the team and connect with fellow pilots. Northern California, hit us up, CIG. Glad to see it getting around though, and more people getting to get together. Finally, before I let you go, I want to take a moment to introduce myself to those who don't know me yet. I was going to say I don't recognize the name. I'm Travis, though many of you may already know me as Big T.O. I've spent the last 6 years on the concierge team, so there's a good chance we've already met, whether through a ticket or out in the wild at an event. Now I'm stepping into a new role as community manager, working directly with this amazing community, and I couldn't be more excited. You can find me on X at the Big T.O. and on Spectrum, tip of the hat, see you in the verse. My man Niku moving to other responsibilities, possibly. Yeah, I don't do much concierge stuff, but glad he updated us to let us know who he was, because I was realizing I don't recognize a Saber Raven point making these posts. I'll throw him a follow. Cheers, Big T.O. Thanks for what you do. And that is it, guys, for a summary of what's coming this week, what happened last week, and what to expect right now in Star Citizen.